Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Monday, we go right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment, and it's this one, and it's going to please a lot of people. Mostly because it has the word flat in the title, and it does follow up with that. It's not just a flat map, there's more to it than just being flat. There's quite a lot of work gone into it. Only one thing that I don't particularly like personally with the map, others of you will disagree with me 100%. We're all entitled to an opinion. Okay, I'll explain my viewpoint. You can just ignore my views and go about with your own opinions. We'll follow that up with a request map, which is indeed an improvement on their first map. But first of all, this. That's right, to help me improve every single day, you know what to do. That's right, show your support for the channel. Only 1 in 10 do. Come on, be one of the 1 in 10. Today's first map is Almost Flat by HgTuahh. Now, we have done HgTuahh on the channel before. They do have a little bit of skill set about them, and this map is very neatly designed. There's your start square, and again, everything about that feels about right. Only a hint of water though. We'll have a look at that when we get down to ground level. The terrain heights, it's almost flat. Just with a few bumpy bits where there are bumpy bits. Where there are bumpy bits, they are mostly covered in forest, and we have strong resources, mostly in the fertile around the rivers, but a little bits of everything else as well. And then if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's salmon and anchovies in what is a very pretty looking river system. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it says mass transit on there, doesn't it? Because it is a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. We'll be using the vanilla temperate theme, the realistic 1.2 LUT, and that's all you need to know. Honestly, that's all you need to know. Now, there were other mods used in the making of the map, but you don't need them. For example, things like intersection marking tool. We're going to see intersection marking tool today, but you don't need it. And if you don't have it, then the intersections won't be marked. I say this every single time, don't I? Like when there are trees under the road, I have to say it because it's always somebody's first show. So yeah, if we happen to see any trees growing up through this map or any other map through the roads, that's because of anarchy settings. But today, pleasingly, neither one of the two maps have trees going through the roads. I know. What a great surprise. What a pleasant treat for all of us. Anyway, yes, now, what's my big grumble with this map? I'll start off by talking about my big grumble with this map. And that is, if you have a look at the map from the top down, which we've already done, it's very natural. We've got lots of bends and curves. Whilst it is very flat as well, where my big argument regarding perfectly straight highways like this is, well, if it's perfectly flat, why wouldn't you build a perfectly straight highway? You know I say that a lot. Well, this is perfectly flat, but it does have some shape and definition in terms of the rivers and in terms of where the original forests might have been. So for me, these perfectly flat highways are a little bit of a distraction for me. Just a little bit. What is nice though, look at this little bridge. The tiny little hump in it, in the way that a road bridge would have a tiny little hump in it. That has a lot of credibility built into it, that bridge. A lot of credibility. Let's just hope the rail bridges don't do that, huh? What do you think? Anyway, yes, so you can see this highway just runs a very straight line across the map, which it's counterintuitive to me, I feel, on a map like this one. If you're doing like a big old Central American swathe of flat land with nothing on it, I get it. Anyway, intersection marking tool. I did say we had a little bit of intersection marking tool in operation, and it's pretty good standards. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, Trumpet Intersection there with a nice swoosh going on. A lot of nice work going on here. Now, when I say pretty good, there is room for tiny tweaks of improvements. Like, if you have a look here at the line width, that's gone from about 3 times the width down to just a pinch. Okay, so there are tiny weeny things, but the standards are way stronger than a lot of maps in terms of the intersection marking, so a lot of credit to be given there, just helping to improve things even further, you know, even further. Over this side, this stands out as probably the most detailed part of the entire map in terms of something a bit different. I don't know if I like this. I can't find a fault with it. There's not a problem with it. 100% vanilla. It's very neatly done. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. Just I don't know. It feels it stands out a bit too much as being just a little bit out of kilter with the rest of the map. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, yeah, if you get where I'm coming from, and again, if you completely disagree with me, I'm okay with that. I'm alright, because I can see that there's nothing wrong with it, and that it is actually pretty neat work as well. Another little bridge there. Everybody loves a little old bridge. No, you can't use that on your BonBonBingo card. You can't. I know you're going, oh, I've got that. No, you can't. It's the big old bridge that you use. Maybe there might be a big old bridge on the second review. You'll have to see. You'll have to see. Anyway, down into Start Square. This is Start Square intersection. It's bold. It's almighty. It's very neat. Very nicely detailed as well. Very nicely framed. It's not quite plumb centre on the Start Square intersection, but it doesn't need to be. On the Start Square, it doesn't need to be. Some very clean, crisp tree detailing and hedge detailing in the roundabouts. Nothing to complain about, and I would say that this is a winner. For me, winning chicken dinner, or the burger, or something. So anyway, yes, good, clean, tidy work. If you can call it a complaint, my only minor, and it is minor grumble with this one, again, what can you do really? The glitching between the highways on here, especially because they are so balanced. You see how it's all sort of perfectly aligned up. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't know. It's in the middle of the Start Square. I just find it a little bit of a distraction. So yeah, I mean, all you need to do is like shunt something, or maybe have some two-laners in there or something like that. There are ways and means of sorting that out. So just mentioning it. That's all. Just mentioning it. Anyway, if we follow the road down, we reach the rail. The road goes off to the edge of the map. We'll look again at the road in a minute. The rail, if we go that way, it takes us down past everybody's favourite factory. We'll have a look at the factory in a minute. We'll go this way because we've got a train. How often do we follow a train? We never, ever follow a train. Probably a very good reason for that, because frankly, this isn't very exciting. And you just know that this rail line is just going to go straight line right off the edge of the map. So so there's that. There is that. But anyway, yeah, so while I was complaining about the roads being a little bit too straight, I think the rail's okay. The rail kind of makes a bit more sense, the way that it's been done. But the roads, they just feel very straight and very disinteresting and very uninspiring to me. Just to me, to you, to me. Anyway, no hump in the rail bridge. You'll be pleased to know, those of you that were worried that I was going to give you a humpback rail bridge. No, there's no humpback rail bridge. HgTuahh has done a very nice job there. But anyway, I do like the shape and the design. I'm going to hold it as a diamond. I'm going to hold it as a diamond. Right, let's have a little look for the shipping routes. Well, you'd be very pleased to hear with these fairly light looking rivers, we don't have any shipping routes, but we do have a couple of air routes, and they do exactly what they need to do and no more, which is a direct route across here and then a direct route across here. If you're looking to make a first map or yeah, and put in air routes, they don't need to be complex, just a straight line across roughly in an area that's going to cover the areas that you want covered, and you're good. That's all you need to do. They're very easy to not get wrong. Okay. Okay, water flow in the Start Square. Here's your Start Square. You can see old dotted line here. We do have water flow, but they're just a little pinch here. So, sewage outflow there. Yeah, unless you, of course, you've got the DLCs that give you inland treatment. Sewage outflow there, and then water towers. You won't be pumping and drawing. You will be drawing and pumping, or something like that. Just keep your towers away from your polluted areas, because they will draw dirty groundwater. You knew that, didn't you? Yeah, good. Right, okay, let's have a little look around. So, it's not perfectly flat. We have got some pleasingly nicely done, again, all 100% vanilla, little hills that I think are just nice. It was so easy on a map like this that's so perfectly flat to have the, scaling in mountains and hills or whatever. It's really difficult to do right, and I think the scaling on this map is very nicely done. The placement of the hills I don't know so much about really, but I have seen places in the world where we get hills that are just dotted like this in like almost undefinable locations. So again, I don't have any problems with them at all. I think in the overall shape of the map, with the shape of the rivers and the shape of the fertile land and like the fields, the way it sprawls here with the fields, I think this is very neatly done. Very, very neatly done indeed. So, what shall we look at next? How about over here? I think this is the ore over here. It might be oil. I'm pretty sure it's ore, though. Over here, and what I'm liking here is the tree seams over here. It just feels very natural as well. And again, got the river running through this area as well, so you could use little cargo ships to ferry things backwards and forwards. And again, a little bit of a dry river here with the old rock work, it all done with vanilla as well. And the old Troll's Cave there as well. That's, again, I'm okay with that. I'm alright with that. Then, the roads. There is one very exciting part of the road network. Hang on to your hats. Actually, make sure you're sitting down right now. This is going to blow you away. So exciting. Look at how the road just bends off there. Look, it's not 100% straight. It just goes off to the side. Look, that's as exciting as the highway networks get. It doesn't have to be exciting, but I would like to see a few more natural curves like that across the map. Got some vanilla work on this rail bridge here, just a little bit of vanilla detailing, just to give some pillars. That's all good as well. Again, nothing to really set things alight, but does it need to? It doesn't. Anyway, down here at everybody's favourite factory, I did promise we'd come down. It's a favourite factory cluster going on there. 3 of them pushed into one. I'm not sure what the factories were factorising, but if we come down here, we get to another little Troll's Cave down here, and there's clearly some work going on down here, along with the footpath as well. So maybe there's some sort of mining operation. This is the dwarfs down there mining for us, maybe. One tiny little grumble. You may have spotted it already, and it is tiny. It is so tiny. Oh, what's this trench going on here? That might going to be difficult to get to those fallen trees. Oh, maybe you can get around the outside of it. No, that's okay. That's right. No, that's fine. That's fine. Ignore me. Tiny little glitching. Just tiny little bit right on the edge of the ditch. Big bit of glitching here, though, with the factories are at exactly the same level, and you get the textures fighting with each other to get priority. Easy to fix. We go in and move it. We choose one of the factories, one of the factories like this one. Can drop it down, one tap of the page up, page down button. Now they're no longer fighting for priority. You will get a tiny little ridge on the top here, but you have to get in really close to be able to notice it, whereas the glitching before you could see from a little way away. So that's just the whole map. That's my biggest grumble. It's not a bad map, is it? But is it? Is it? This is where I ask you. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Almost Flat, because that's the map we're talking about right now. Right, what do I think of Almost Flat by HgTuahh? Well, aesthetically, I think they've done an exceptional job given what we have to work with, which is a very flat, fairly ordinary looking map, and of course 100% vanilla. But I think they've done it well. I'm going to go into the 4th star. I'm going to go lowish 4. Again, it's very difficult to do much better with vanilla. It is possible, but I think it's a good job. Nice design. Detailing is strong enough to get into 4 stars, but not so strong to take me anything more than really at the bottom end, so there's that. In terms of gameplay potential, we have that contrast of the very straight highways. I don't have a problem. You can have straight highways on this map, but I think it just needs a little bit more imagination. So I'm going to go for a medium high 3 stars, or fairly high 3 stars, just because of the contrast. I don't know quite how I would want to play this one. Almost Flat by HgTuahh, very good, strong standards, and an up-and-coming creator. Look out for them in the future. There's going to be more to come. I'm absolutely certain of that one. Meanwhile, I said, and meanwhile, we have a second map from a creator we've done once in the past episode, 1544. They got 9 stars, the pass mark back then, 3 stars in each category, and they have definitely made improvements. They have learnt from the previous, and it was learnt because this is a creator request. They had the map reviewed, and they said, "Ooh, I want my map reviewed again, see if I can improve some more." Well, you've improved already. There is definitely a little bit more room to go, but this is a strong map. You don't need snowfall for this one, despite all of that snow. Those of you that are worried, oh, I don't like snow maps, it's fine. It's just resource painting. And a real life location as well, but we'll talk more about that when we get down to ground level. Today's second map is Web Passage by dcreed. I have no idea why they've called it Web Passage. It makes no sense to me, but it is a memorable name, so there is that going for it. There's your start square. I don't really have an issue with that either, to be honest with you. The framing could be stronger, but it's what it is. Terrain heights are Norwegian. Just leave it at that. Strong resources if you want to go for oil in the snow, that is. The rest of it, a little bit of farming down there. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, fairly similar to the previous map, anchovies and salmon is what you have. Okay, off to the workshop. What do you need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There is a list of requirements, no one-click collection, including network extensions 2, a few trees, a few rocks, and a web passage theme mix. We'll talk about the mix in a moment. Let's come down here. You'll find down here, nicely written, a little shout out to me. Thank you very much for that one. Good to know that, like I say, this is how I know that they've made some improvements. Good for them. Good for them. Now, if we head back on up here, you'll see we have a theme mix. Right, okay, I'd like to see these individual themes listed in the requirements list, or in fact in a one-click collection. I do have a tutorial to show how that's done. But we're using Relight 2 Average. Relight is not listed, nor the expansion of Relight's not listed either. But I'll use that one anyway. So we've got the Pariah theme, the Seychelles theme, Australia Coast, New Caledonia theme, and the CMF theme, along with the Relight 2 Average LUT. So also in terms of DLCs, if you don't need Park Life, you don't need it, but if you have Park Life, there is a little bit of use of the Park Life, one of the paths, in terms of some of the detailing. Again, it's not going to change the map so much that I would worry too much about it. But for me, if you have Park Life, you're going to get a little bit of a bonus extra detailing as well. So where are we in the world? We are, and I apologise for the pronunciation in advance. I did message my Norwegian friend, but they haven't got back in time for me to be able to take their pronunciation tips. But Sundalsura, I think that's how it's pronounced. And I think we're a little bit inland from, is it Kristiansand? Like the bulgy bit of Norway, that bit on the left, you know the one. And then you have a few fjords and whatever coming in, and this is like as far inland on one of those fjords as you can go. And it's a proper decent sized town stroke small city, I feel, with docks, and we'll talk about the docks in a short while. But yeah, I think as a aesthetic recreation of the area, this feels right. I've had a look at some of the 4K, beautiful 4K cinematics that there are of of the area on YouTube, and this map does not feel out of place. I think they have done a very nice job in putting together the theme mix, with one caveat, but I promise you we will get to that a little bit later. So down to Start Square Intersection, and this is very neat. We've got the lane management as well, going from 2 lanes up to 3 lanes. The Vanilla Wishbone intersection, which does have one minor thing where it is pretty tall, and it does mean that this down ramp over this side here is a little bit steep with the angles. Just a little, it can be just worked and lessened just a little bit, tapered in slightly, but it's still not the worst that I've seen in terms of wishbones. It's because of all the extra work that's gone onto it. It's not bad. Tiny little bit of jinky jankies along the way that this road merges back in that could be just smoothed out just a fraction. But again, nothing that's so bad that you're going to go, oh, look at that, it's awful. It's not. Nothing about this is awful. Like this is not awful. Liking the tree and rock detailing on this bridge. I haven't seen anybody do it quite like this before, and I think this works very nicely. And I recommend, yeah, if you don't know what you're going to do with your bridge, copying that would be very nice. Copying that, yeah, learning from other creators, even if they're not big name creators. And let's face it, dcreed is not a big name creator. Next intersection there, this isn't the start square, but we've got another one over there which just bends off. There's one talking point actually with that intersection just bent off. The 2 highways that are very close together at the end. Somebody did mention in the comments a week or so ago about something like that, and is it truly vanilla? Now, this isn't vanilla map, but is it a vanilla map if the 2 highway ends are close together? For me, I wouldn't worry there, because you can just delete the ends of the roads and then the highways do separate up nicely. On this particular map, it wouldn't be a problem. But again, on this isn't a vanilla map, so I don't think we should even be worrying about that. Okay, shall we nip across to the rail? I think we'll nip across to the rail. We're going to be doing lots of backwards and forwards on this map. We've followed the highway, and it is one just highway finding its way up one valley and down another valley. And then we have the rail, which is going down the valley and then back up the other valley. I'm just showing the standards really, because having explained what the rail does, you don't really need to see it. But it's a very nice scenic map, and the way that the theme mix has been done with the oil for snow just gives it a really nice, strong, proper Norwegian feel. And the same with the shape. In fact, the shape of the map is slightly reminiscent to me of my first ever map of the year from all those years ago, Schwitz Alpine Village by Carnador. I think it was Carnador, wasn't it? Yeah, although that was 100% vanilla, and it felt right for my first map of the year to have a 100% fairly basic vanilla map, but was just like set for playability. And I think that this map kind of does much of the same thing. Not quite to the same levels in terms of playability as Carnador's work, but this one's definitely prettier because we are what, 5 years on. How many years have I been doing this? Man alive. Anyway, the rail's good. So we haven't stopped, haven't talked about the rail at all. They've got a little rail tunnel running through there as well. Haven't stopped and talked about the rail at all, which tells you a lot. Which is basically there's nothing to talk about. It's all good. Then we're going to go back the other way again. This time following the river. Rocking and holding. Oh yeah, baby. That's for the BonBonBingo players. Rocking and holding. Yeah. Nice shaped rivers are clearly taken from the real life routes, and again, just enough detailing to make the river interesting and a little bit fascinating. Just like bits of rocks here, and just where the changing of the directions. There's nothing particularly awkward and glitchy about it. There is one wee little thing. I'm liking the lakes, by the way. The lakes are good. There is one little thing with the river we will find, and that is, you probably picked up on it already. Or we'd have this little dip here. Again, I don't have a problem with that one. It's not going to flood, but you might want to level it out if you start building on this map, or you might not. Just let the buildings do it. To be fair. You have your farmland area over here. Some of this is fertile, some of it is not fertile. I think some of it is ore. But if you're after just something a bit different over here, it's very nice. Down here should be that park life footpath somewhere. I don't remember looking for it, or I didn't bother looking for it, so I won't be showing it to you because I forgot. So I did the flyover, I just forgot. But yeah, I think somewhere around there's probably that footpath. I hope anyway. Yeah, my minor grumble down this way with the river is there are some places of the river where you can see some digitization that's gone on. Like along here, you can just make out how straight that is, and just like the ziggy zags here. It's just a little bit of smoothing in a couple of places on the river, just to help it a little bit. But all told, I think it's a very nice, pleasing river network. Let's head up into the snow, shall we? Because we've got some lakes up here as well. They are the Glacial Lakes, I feel. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about these apart from I'm glad they're there. I'm not going to get excited about them, but I am very glad they are there. What's next? It's water flow in the start square. There you go. Water flow in the start square is negligible, if any at all. So if you're going to pump and draw, just make sure you're drawing from one end of the river and pumping to the other, and hopefully you've got enough gap between the two. Or just wait until, use water towers and wait until you've got out into the bay, and you should be okay. I think so. Now we have this really lovely shape to the shoreline here. These, I imagine, are shipyards. But if you're going to put a dock down there, beware, because we have this ridge of land here. I imagine the vanilla ships will just climb directly over that if you go with that, unless there happens to be a shipping route going up and into it, which we'll check out right now. The actual harbour in real life lives right there, so if you stick your docks there, you would imagine you're going to be okay. So let's have a little look for the shipping routes here. Try not to snigger too much, people. Try not to snigger too much. Right, so here's your stop it. Look, children, stop it. All right. Anyway, I'm liking this inner route as well, which means you don't have ships coming all the way into the area. You can get access to that. You can't really get access if you were to put a harbour in here. Look, stop it. Okay, I'm not going to do any doodling. All right. Stop it. I'm not going to do any doodling. Oh, all right. I'll do some doodling. Right. So anyway, yeah. I'm out of the start square. Sorry, I haven't unlocked all the tiles, but you see what I mean. You can't quite reach there if you were to put a harbour in at that point. But why would you? Because you're a fool? Yes, because you're a fool. Why not? Why not be a fool? Be a fool with BonBon today. Right, now have a look at the textures that are going on with the mountains here, with motorbikes running through the living room. The textures here, very repetitive textures going on there. You get that with some themes. I feel that this theme is, while it's very striking, I think from great distance it kind of works. Once you get within screenshot kind of range, it might be a little bit of a distraction. We've got lots of trees, but not too many, well underneath the tree limit. The sprawl of trees there is very... Let's have a look at the tree limit. Yeah, 167,000. You've got a lot of trees to play with in the tree count. And that sprawl is very nice. I would have thought there'd be some trees behind. I'm glad there weren't any behind that mountain, because there's no need for trees behind there. I'll leave that down to you to decide whether you would want trees behind there. You can always put your own. Just beware not to go over the tree count. Anyway, what do you think of Web Passage by Decreed? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Well, it's a big decision to be made there, guys. What do I think of Web Passage by Decreed? Well, first of all, massive step up from the first map. Aesthetically, it captures the area very nicely indeed. I've got to give 4 stars. I am distracted by those repetitive textures on the otherwise I'd be easily middle 4, easily. But I'm going to go 4 stars. I'm going to go right at the bottom end of 4 stars because I think it is quite important that those mountains just don't look like a blanket, you know. Detailing, tough one on this one. It's right on the borderline. I don't think I can give the 4th star because we've got that river, like ziggy bits here and there. But I'm going to go for a very, very, very high 3. I think next time we'll definitely be talking 4 stars, no question. And as for gameplay potential, I think if you're looking to recreate the town, it's absolutely on point. I'm not inspired though by it. I don't know why. I'm going to go for a high 3. And again, leave room for improvement. It's probably 4 stars really. Web passage by dcreed. Let me know what you think. Come on, this is why you get to vote. I can say these things and you can be in the comments screaming at me. That was 4 stars. It probably was. It probably was. I'm just going on my gut feeling on these things all the time. I never get to play them, so it's just gut feeling. Well, that's my claim anyway. Let me know what you think, and let me know in the comments if you're part of the 20 and out elites by using the word of the day. I will be back on Wednesday with another map in the What's Map series, and hopefully with a little bit of live streaming treasure hunt on Tuesday night. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.